Hi everyone, Julie here. Today we are talking about something a bit more philosophical, linguistics, theory, and so on. So I was watching a video on a social media that I will not name because I'm very ashamed of how much time I waste on it. But this person was saying that she knew someone who spoke proper English. And I thought it would be interesting to make a video about this because there is no such thing as proper English. This is colonialist, imperialist, elitist BS. Okay, linguistically, there is no such thing. Let's think for a second. Let's imagine that you don't speak a word of Spanish, okay? And I make you listen to all the Spanish dialects and accents spoken around the world, but I don't tell you which one is which. There is no way you will be able to tell me which one is proper Spanish, which one isn't, which one is grammatically correct, which one isn't. This doesn't exist. Okay, maybe some will sound a bit more pleasing because you just like the melody of one accent over the other. Sure, why not? But there is no, from an outside point of view, there is no real one is more proper. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't exist. Even if you compare them and if you learn to speak the language without any kind of cultural influences, you still wouldn't be able to tell which one is more correct or not, or more real. Like it doesn't exist. Okay, it's an illusion. Some people might say, yeah, but okay, let's take the example of French. It was spoken in France first, so that means French from France is the real French. Okay, but let's backtrack a little bit, before colonization. So there were already multiple dialects and accents of French spoken because, languages are evolving constantly in their life and all of that. So it wasn't really just one French spoken in France, but let's imagine for argument's sake that it was. So we had this one version of French in France, and then it was, I don't want to say exported because that's definitely the wrong word. It was imposed really in horrible conditions on a lot of people around the world. So, it traveled in Northern America, the Caribbean, Africa, Southeast Asia, Pacific Islands. Like it traveled all around the world. The language traveled with colonizers. So when the language arrived in different places, it was taught to people who already spoke, sorry, different languages. Okay, so obviously they had different accents and different pronunciation and even just different living conditions that required different vocabulary. So the languages evolved in many different ways depending on where it was spoken. But let's not forget, French from France evolved as well because of cultural influences, migration, technology development, and just the natural evolution of a language. It just changed. So this French that was spoken in France that was exported, and sure, it has evolved in these other regions, outside of France, has also evolved in France. It's not the same at all anymore. We don't speak like we used to speak before colonization. So what makes our French, our version of French, more proper than the others? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Other people might say that, for example, English. British English is considered more proper because it's more grammatically correct, right? Or standard American English is grammatically correct compared to other accents and dialects of English, right? Again, this is not really true because what is grammar? Grammar is like a tradition, it's a set of rules that exist because people have repeated it over and over again over such a long time that it became a rule in people's minds. So then people kept on doing it. So it's like this circle, right? The more people do it, the more people think they have to, so the more they do it, and so on. Same with grammar. We have some grammar rules that exist now that made zero sense 200, 300 years ago, but now they do, and they're considered rules, they're considered correct because we've used them so much. And the grammar from other accents or other communities even, which is highly discriminated, is in fact still grammatically correct. It's just a different grammar, but it's still correct. Just like, for example, if I write color in the UK, I'm going to spell it Colour. But if I write in the States, it's Collor. Which one is more correct? Not one over the other. So this idea that some languages may be more grammatically correct than others is, again, utter BS. Okay. A third argument that some people have to justify that, British English, for example, or American English, standard American English would be more proper over other accents is that people understand them better, right? Around the world, they're more understood compared to other accents from, I don't know, New Zealand, India, Kenya, Nigeria, whatever. Let me ask you this. Are they more popular because they're better understood, or are they more understood because they're more popular through cultural colonization? So again, just look at, for example, French. If you go on Netflix right now and you look up French shows, I bet you any amount of money you will find mainly French shows from France with French speakers from France with a French accent from France, right? So it's a lot of France, 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 France. That's not really French right now, anyway. So then, of course, you're going to understand the French accent way better than you will understand Moroccan French or Quebec French. Um, Please teach me English, because it is more showed, like it's just like in your face all the time. So of course you understand it better. But if you were equally exposed to all French accents and dialects, then you would understand them equally well. So I think the solution is not to only learn and teach the proper French, the proper English, is to just give more exposure to other accents and dialects because they're there, they exist, they have really cool cultures, they have a very important history that we all need to know. And I think it's just cool to also learn them. So I just wanted to explain all of these concepts because I think they're quite interesting. Um, and I think it's important to understand them and realize that you do not have to learn English, to speak like the royal family. You can learn English in other English speaking countries that have an accent. Like South African teachers, for example, are extremely discriminated for some reason, even though their accent is perfectly fine. Like, there's no, all accents are perfectly fine, really. But for some reason, for English, for example, it's really like Canada, the US, the UK, and even Australia and New Zealand are not super popular in terms of teachers. In French, obviously, it's France, but people forget that French is spoken by more than 400 million people in Africa only. Like, there's so many other countries and cultures that speak the language you're learning, and I think it's a shame if you don't explore that. So all of this very long and abstract and boring probably video to say that you should explore learning your target language with people from other countries, not just the one that's the proper, English or French or whatever. Yeah, that's it for today. Let me know in the comments what your opinion is on the matter. I'm very interested to know what you think because linguistically, maybe you have other theories or you've read other books that tell completely different things. I don't know. So let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to know your opinion on the topic, and I will see you very soon. Bye.